just losing in general is frustrating, really, no matter how it happens. And then, kind of lose this way when, we thought we had, we thought we had a good chance to, win the game at the end. But, just big plays after big plays, on the defensive side of the ball really, limited, what we were able to do.
Luke, they came out in that first drive and kind of went right through you. What adjustments did you make to slow them down?
We just realized that we need to play football. This isn't, some soft team. This is Wake Forest. This is the ACC. They got a great running back. They got a good offensive line, and I don't think we were, we didn't come out how we needed to come out. That's the best way to put it. And we figured it out. This is a real team. This running back's, a legitimate guy. I think he's one of the best guys, out there right now. He makes cuts. He's fast. He's in and out quick. And offensive line did a great job of opening up seams for him on that first drive, and then after we realized this is real, we started playing a little bit.
In the last drive, you guys had them in 3rd and 15, and then they hit the 44-yard pass. Then they come and get you with the trick play. Does it almost make it more maddening that you almost had them deep in their territory, and then boom, 2 plays, they're down near your goal line?
Yeah, definitely. We thought, like you said, it was 3rd and 10 plus, and it's a situation where our defense needs to capitalize and get off the field, and we weren't able to do that. And if you look at for college football in general, and in every game, if there's a big play followed by another big play, usually not good things aren't happening for the defense.
Luke, Coach was talking about some inconsistency in practice. It happens every game every week, but more so in BC situation. Do you see that as a player, or is that just Coach's eye view of things?
Yeah, I think definitely. We started sometimes slow in practice. And that's one of those things is it can't happen. You see in the game. The first half we didn't play how we needed to. In the second half, I'm talking on defense side of the ball. We didn't start how we needed to start, and then in the second half we realized, let's get going. And then we started making plays. We had an interception. We had a couple 3-and-outs, and it's one of those things is, like, the saying, practice how you play. It's true. If you practice start out, the first couple of periods you practice slow, then you're going to start slow in the game. And that's one of those things is, you got to stress to everyone that from the first whistle blown to the last whistle blown in practice, it needs to be important because it's, a game is practice. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's thrown at you. You just got to make the most of each situation that you're given.
Luke, Coach was also talking about the fact he doesn't know what kind of team you are yet in terms of can this team do what it did last year, start out 2-5, win its final, 7 games and get to a bowl. Do you know where you guys are emotionally right now, and are you capable of going on a run like that?
Right now, we're definitely frustrated. We've lost, quite a few games this year, but it's one of those things is you can't let what already happened affect you. We can learn from it. We can make improvements on what we have, but I think we have the pieces. We have the pieces to be good. If you look at the game we're going to look at tomorrow, there's a couple big plays on defense. They had a couple, that little screen pass. They ran down sideline for a touchdown. They had that trick play, and then they had that long 44-yard touchdown. You take those away, it's a totally different game. So it's one of those things is we're right there. We just need to take a step over the line to be there. It's not. I don't think it's things we're missing. It's just we aren't making that step forward that we need to.
Lucas, with the loss, I know it's hard to celebrate personal accomplishments, but can you just comment on Montel bringing the all-time leadership?
Definitely, it's a great accomplishment for Montel. Anytime you get put in a situation like that, came back from injury, played a little bit last week, and then set the record this week is a big deal for Montel, and we all appreciate what he's done for his team and the program.